And Priyanka, we have to congratulate you. Since you were last here, you've got married.
Everyone has experienced some embarrassing moments in their lives. Most of the time, no one records these moments. But imagine these moments being captured on camera. Such moments usually make us laugh or sad. Such moments are wedding days, meant to be a joyous occasion, frequently celebrated as one of life's most memorable milestones. Sometimes weddings are glorious and classy evenings where you can feel the love throughout the room. Other times, they can be absolute disasters. Although sometimes well-planned, reality doesn't always align with our ideal visions. These awkward situations can feel disheartening at the time. They frequently evolve into cherished memories that evoke laughter and joy in the years to come. Here are some of the most unforgettable wedding mishaps caught on camera, each one showing the humorous side of love and matrimony. Groom drops bride in hilarious mishap. Have you ever overestimated your strength? We've all been there, whether it is carrying groceries or moving furniture. But dropping your newlywed wife on your wedding day is not always on anyone's to-do list. You will definitely agree with me when I say it is one of the most embarrassing moments. In this clip, the couple is enjoying their first dance when the groom decides to lift his bride when he accidentally drops her right onto the floor. The guests burst into laughter, but the groom quickly turns the moment around. Before long, the groom joins his wife on the floor, and they share a passionate kiss on the floor. The guests stop laughing and envy the couples who have just conquered their first marriage problems. Talk about a smooth move. This proves that love conquers all, even an unexpected tumble. Watching this, we can't help but chuckle. Things could always be worse on your wedding day. If you thought dropping your bride was the ultimate wedding mishap, wait until you see what happens when little ones take center stage. You know how they say kids can steal the spotlight? Well, this next moment proves just that. The flower girl who stole the show. Weddings can be stressful for everyone involved, including the bride's father, the family, and of course, the couple. But sometimes unexpected moments bring laughter and lighten the mood. In this amazing video, we see how easily children can get overwhelmed on such a big day. As everyone is seated and music is playing, anticipation builds for the bride's entrance. A commotion suddenly erupts at the back of the church. Out of nowhere, a little girl comes running down the aisle, and there is a young boy trailing her, presumably her younger brother, who doesn't look too impressed. He hides his face with the pillow he's carrying, embarrassed. The guests turn to the children, who just caused a scene that made the wedding pause for a moment. No one knew what was going on. It could have been just kids playing, but this definitely stole the show for a few moments. The little flower girl, cheeks flushed with excitement, had clearly decided that the solemnity of the occasion was too much to bear silently. Instead, her sprint down the aisle, with petals flying wildly from her basket, became an impromptu performance that delighted the guests. Laughter rippled through the church as the ceremony briefly took a back seat to childhood whimsy. In that instant, the little ones reminded everyone that joy could be found in the most unexpected places, turning a formal event into an unforgettable story of innocence and play. Don't lose the rings. A guest narrates how, at her sister's wedding, the ring bearer was a 5-year-old nephew who skipped down the aisle, tossing the pillow with the rings tied loosely to it from one side of him to another. When the little boy got to the altar, one ring was missing. The congregation then spent half an hour searching for it on their hands and knees, with the sister in tears as she watched on. Her dress was too tight to crouch. What would you have done if it were your wedding? Wedding photographer takes the plunge. Wedding photographers are constantly on the lookout for that perfect shot, especially in today's world, where social media is overflowing with meticulously curated and picture-perfect moments. As the wedding ceremony continues, everything appears to be going seamlessly. The newlyweds are joyfully exchanging their vows surrounded by loved ones and music playing in the background. The venue was spectacular because the wedding was by the lakeside. In the photographer's pursuit of the ideal angle, aiming to capture every detail of this special day. She unfortunately takes one step too far back, and all of a sudden she plunges into the water, much to the shock of everyone present. Instantly, the festive atmosphere transforms as guests rush to rescue her, concerned for her well-being. Fortunately, she emerges from the lake unhurt, though undeniably drenched and shocked. She definitely stole the show. While she may be soaking wet, at least her camera was still in hand, ready to capture the unforgettable moment, even if she herself didn't quite experience it as planned. The couple, determined to maintain the joyful spirit of their day, carried on as if nothing had happened. However, it's clear that this amusing incident left a memorable mark on their celebration, adding an unexpected twist to what was meant to be their perfect day. Just when you thought nothing could top a wedding photographer taking an unexpected dive, get ready for the next jaw-dropping moment. What happens when a waiter gets a little too close to the couple's towering cake? Spoiler alert, it doesn't end with a slice. Waiter, watch out. Picture a situation where the simplest tasks take unexpected turns, leading to moments that are both amusing and confusing. Such a situation happened when a waiter at a wedding was tasked with one main goal: to remain inconspicuous on a day dedicated to the bride and groom. Everything is going well. The couple is ready to cut their stunning 5-tier wedding cake, a masterpiece so large it overshadows them. Suddenly, a waiter makes a dramatic entrance, sliding a bottle of champagne onto the table beside the cake. Initially, it seems like the perfect celebratory gesture. But wait, he hit the table hard enough to make the cake wobble. In agonizing slow motion, the grand cake topples to the floor. There goes dessert. But on the bright side, at least they won't have to cut it anymore. Do you think the waiter got a tip? A pregnant mistress causes drama. Wow! Talk about a tangled web of emotions. First of all, my sympathies to the wife. That has to be heartbreaking. Picture the heartache and chaos brewing for everyone caught in this whirlwind. Just think about it. One woman grapples with betrayal while her girlfriend faces the shock of infidelity. And on top of that, there's a pregnancy involved. This isn't just a wedding gone wrong. It's a real-life soap opera unfolding right before our eyes. The drama and the heartache are certainly not how anyone sees their big day. Think of how you would feel if a man you dedicated your whole life, your body, time, and energy to find out he had another woman. Embarrassing moment as man's trouser falls down during his own wedding. This one was simply funny. Plenty of people have nightmares about being half naked in front of a crowd, but it came true for this man at his own wedding. The man was filmed wearing a vashti skirt, a traditional men's garment worn in South Asia, wrapped around the waist and secured only by a knot. The groom was walking with the bride behind him, holding hands, when it suddenly fell down, exposing his underwear and legs. And in an unfortunate omen, it appears his newlywed wife was to blame. The video shows her accidentally stepping on her husband's garment. Recorded by multiple cameras, the man quickly bends down to pick up his piece of clothing and retie the knot. But it was too late to avoid embarrassment, and the footage has since been posted online. Groom's backflip gone wrong. No one likes a show-off, especially at a wedding where the focus should be on the bride and groom. Everyone has seen those viral videos of perfectly choreographed wedding dances. The wedding was going smoothly until the groom decided to show off his backflipping skills in front of his new bride. Disaster strikes as he misjudges the move and nearly knocks her out. Instead of stopping, he tries to do it again, only to knock her over again accidentally. In slow motion, you can see that his backflip was impressive until he accidentally kicked her on the head. You have to wonder if she ever forgave him and whether this mishap turned into a favorite story they share. As the guests gasped and then burst into nervous laughter, the bride managed to find the humor in the situation, helping her groom to his feet amidst applause. Although not the perfect moment he had planned, this misstep became a unique part of their wedding day narrative. Years later, they would often recount this story, highlighting the unpredictability of life and the importance of laughter and forgiveness in their relationship. Groom slaps bride in shock. Weddings are meant to be the happiest day of everyone's lives, but sometimes they take a turn for the worse. In a shocking moment during what appears to be an arranged marriage, the groom feeds his new wife a slice of wedding cake. When it's her turn to return the favor, she playfully teases him by pulling the cake away from his mouth, all in good fun. But the groom is clearly not in the mood. He shockingly slaps her across the face. This left the wedding guests stunned and some in tears. The bride is left shocked, unsure of how to respond. The atmosphere becomes increasingly uncomfortable. This man clearly does not deserve her, and the clip went viral, sparking outrage on social media. One user aptly stated that he needs a lesson in human rights. Indeed, this kind of behavior should never be tolerated. The video quickly turned into a talking point about respecting boundaries in relationships, especially in marriages. Activists and folks online used this shocking incident to really push for better education on gender equality and respect. It sparked a bunch of campaigns and workshops, all aimed at showing why behavior like this just isn't okay. People from all over the world supported the bride, making it clear that there's no room for violence in relationships, no matter the context. Bride and groom fall off the stage in hyped dance moment. A video of a bride and groom falling while dancing has recently gone viral, and rather than the couple feeling embarrassed, the couple takes it all in stride. It was their wedding day, the happiest day of their lives, and they were not going to let a small stumble ruin it. In the video, the couple dances hand in hand, full of excitement. As they move towards the hall, the groom carries his bride on his back but loses his balance, causing both of them to tumble in front of their guests. Yet the bride quickly bounced back, raising her arms in celebration, and continued to dance as if nothing happened. The bride was not letting anything dampen her spirits. The video has garnered hundreds of comments on Instagram, with viewers praising the couple's sense of humor and boundless energy. It's a heartwarming example of how to turn an unexpected moment into a cherished memory. Groom farts loudly during wedding ceremony. If either of the two weddings in this segment were my own, I would be cringing for days. As the new bride and groom presented themselves to their guests for the first time post-ceremony, the groom let out a loud fart, much to everyone's surprise. Meanwhile, in another wedding, a groom chooses his close female friend to be his best man instead of a male friend, a choice that is uncommon and unheard of. However, during the ceremony, he took it a step further by grabbing her butt right in front of his bride. The wedding came to a sudden halt, and it was clear they didn't end up together. If you thought a wedding halted by an unexpected fart or a scandalous grab was cringeworthy, just wait until you see what happens when a groom's big entrance goes off the rails. Literally, spoiler alert. It involves a runaway horse and a very surprised groom. Groom takes a tumble at Indian wedding. In a video posted on YouTube during an Indian wedding, things took a dramatic turn when the horse the groom was riding became spooked and threw him off outside a temple. The groom clanged on the distressed horse while onlookers tried to calm the situation. Unfortunately, the horse bolts, sending the groom flying off dramatically. The crowd gasps as they rush to help the clearly embarrassed groom, who fell and lost his turban. Thankfully, he got back on his feet, shaken but unharmed. Friends and family gathered to check on him, and this was certainly a wedding moment to remember. It's no secret that wedding planning comes with tons of emotions. Sometimes, there are also either hilariously awkward moments or truly uncomfortable moments in planning. The former makes for a fun story and usually a laugh, while the second provides a great learning opportunity for other brides and grooms. Keep on watching for some seriously relatable, awkward wedding planning moments that you're sure to get a giggle out of. Bride and groom fall off convertible. After exchanging vows in Texas, couple Hannah and Taylor Nolan were ready to leave their reception and begin their honeymoon. The celebration was joyful, as they had taken a little bit too much of champagne. As they prepared to depart, they climbed onto the rear of a silver convertible to wave goodbye to their guests. However, Hannah signaled their driver, Dave, to take off. Unfortunately, he accelerated a bit too quickly, causing the newlyweds to tumble out of the car in their bridal attire. Thankfully, the cameraman confirmed they were unharmed, and Hannah later took to Facebook to reassure everyone that they still adore Dave. What could have been a disaster turned into a fun story, proving that not every wedding mishap needs to spoil the celebration. Groom calls bride, his husband during vows. Since June 26, 2015, same-sex marriage has been legal in all 50 states. However, it's still unusual to hear someone accidentally refer to their bride as a groom at the altar. In a memorable moment, the groom, Peter, nervously read his vows to his husband, creating a light-hearted and awkward moment during the ceremony. If calling your bride husband during vows wasn't enough of a slip-up, imagine what happens when an entire wedding party takes an unplanned swim. That's right, get ready for a splash of drama as this next wedding turns into a full-blown water event. Wedding party takes a plunge into the lake. Often in these top-tier wedding ceremonies, the wedding happens near water or on water, and often these events do not lack their share of drama. It was finally the big day. Months of planning had led to this moment, the perfect venue, the right decor, and the ideal guest list. For the wedding couple, Dan and his bride, everything seemed set until they lined up for a group photo. Suddenly, the dock beneath collapses, sending almost the entire wedding party into the lake. Only a few bridesmaids managed to escape the plunge. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and a quick fix with towels, hairdryers, and makeup got the party back on track in just 10 minutes. Soon, everyone laughed and raised a glass to see their unexpected swim. When you ask for something blue on your wedding day, you likely don't envision a dip in the lake. This is a perfect reminder that sometimes the unexpected moments make for the most memorable celebrations. Haboob dust storm crashes Arizona wedding. Every marriage faces storms, but what happens when your first storm hits on your wedding day? In 2011, Gus and Jennifer Luna had a wedding they never anticipated. A massive Haboob dust storm swept into Arizona just as they were tying the knot. At first, everything seemed fine as the ceremony commenced, but soon worry crept onto Gus's face as he noticed the approaching storm. He urged the priest to speed things up, eager to escape the impending chaos. Ironically, part of their ceremony involved a sand ritual where they poured sand into a single container to symbolize their lifelong commitment. But it seemed the Haboob had plans to blow in more than just a symbolic amount of sand. While they handled the situation with grace, it was clear Gus was struggling not only with the umbrella, but with the entire experience. Fortunately, Jennifer found the humor in the chaos. Their first wedding kiss coated in sand is certainly one to remember. Let's hope that 10 years later their kisses are less sandy than on that unforgettable day. Adorable ring bearer throws pillow in confusion. When children are chosen as ring bearers, they often add a touch of cuteness to the ceremony. However, kids will always be kids, and sometimes things don't go as planned. In a charming video, an adorable little boy dressed in a black and white outfit proudly carries the pillow with the precious wedding rings. As he stumbles down the aisle, it's clear he's not fully aware of what's happening around him. Despite a nearby woman trying to guide him, he becomes overwhelmed by the attention. Just when it seems he's regained his composure and is marching confidently, he suddenly throws the pillow onto the floor. What just happened? Probably our little champ had not had his nap. Next time you have children at your wedding, make sure they have had their nap. And that was the moral of the story. Surely a day to remember. This next video was distressing and completely unacceptable on all levels. Mother-in-law from hell. Have you ever attended a wedding where the celebration was completely dry? Perhaps due to the bride's father's choice as a recovering alcoholic? I had this experience at a wedding that, despite the absence of alcohol, was filled with fantastic energy, largely thanks to the bride's family. They were incredibly enthusiastic about everything, ensuring that the event was joyful and lively. However, the atmosphere took a sharp turn when it came to the groom's family, who clearly harbored disapproval of the bride. It was uncomfortable to witness, especially during dinner, when an awkward moment arose. Guests began tapping their glasses in unison, trying to coax the newlyweds into sharing a kiss. They obliged, but just as the couple leaned in for the moment, the groom's mother shouted, "Boo, slut!" The room fell silent, and she looked around, feigning ignorance as if she had no idea who had made such a rude remark. But everyone present knew exactly where it had come from. Throughout the evening, her behavior became increasingly cringeworthy. She made a series of disparaging comments about the bride, engaging in gossip with people she barely knew, questioning whether the bride was actually a virgin. It was truly shocking to witness such unkindness, especially in what should have been a celebratory atmosphere. The fact that she managed to express such venom while completely sober left me wondering about her true nature. Was she more tolerable when under the influence of alcohol, or did her sober state reveal a side of her that was even worse? It made for a memorable evening, but not for the right reasons. The contrast between the bride's supportive family and the groom's disapproving mother was a stark reminder of how family dynamics can impact a wedding celebration. Wedding myths you might not have known about. Curious about some amusing wedding facts? According to English folklore, Saturday is deemed the unluckiest day for a wedding. There's a belief that if the groom drops the ring during the ceremony, the marriage is doomed. Interestingly, in English tradition, Wednesday is considered the best day to tie the knot, while Monday is associated with wealth and Tuesday is linked to health. What are some of the myths and facts about weddings in your culture? Please let us know in the comments section. If you thought wedding myths were strange, wait until you hear about a real-life disaster that could have turned a dream wedding into a nightmare. Wedding ring lost in water miraculously found. What could be more disastrous at a wedding than losing a wedding ring? Unfortunately, that's exactly what happened to one lovely couple on their big day. They had selected a picturesque dock for their wedding ceremony. This setting was undeniably romantic, with the gentle lapping of water against the beams and a stunning sunset view. However, this idyllic backdrop came with its own set of challenges, particularly when it came to the safety of the wedding rings. As the moment approached for the groom to place the ring on his bride's finger, it was clear that nerves were getting the best of him. In his anxiety, he fumbled the precious band, and in a heartbreaking moment, it slipped from his grasp and plummeted into the icy depths below. The gathered guests around them were shocked, but rather than panic taking over, the bride amazingly responded with laughter. Her disbelief was evident as she tried to process the unexpected happening. Her light-hearted reaction eased the tension and transformed a potential disaster into a memorable moment. However, with no one willing to dive into the water and risk hypothermia to retrieve the ring, the ceremony had to continue without it. When it was her turn to place a ring on his finger, she playfully pretended to toss it into the water, turning the mishap into a humorous moment. The video of the incident went viral, catching the attention of a local scuba diver who later managed to retrieve the ring, much to the couple's delight. This next video has a mix of happy and sad moments. Bride falls off scooter after wedding. This video carries a bit of sadness with it when a young woman featured had just gotten married, as was evident from the fact that she was still wearing her pristine white wedding gown. She and her new husband decided to make their exit from the ceremony on what appeared to be an electric scooter. Unfortunately, neither of them was wearing a helmet, which is quite risky. But don't worry, no one gets hurt, at least not physically. The husband was driving the scooter, focusing straight ahead, while she sat on the back riding side saddle in a manner reminiscent of how women used to ride horses. Everything seemed to be going smoothly until they hit a speed bump. As the back wheel of the scooter came down, the bride was jolted off balance and fell hard to the ground. The most disheartening part of the video is that her husband did not even realize what had happened. He continued driving straight ahead as if nothing was amiss. Other cyclists and bystanders immediately pulled him over. The bride was not physically hurt, but it was clear she was embarrassed by the fall. It's hard not to feel for her. What a humiliating experience to endure right after such a joyous occasion. The waffle-wetted wife? Andrew and Melissa Angstrom were a couple who perfectly exemplified the concept of love at first sight. As they stood before their loved ones, ready to exchange heartfelt vows, an unexpected twist occurred. They seemed destined for one another. It's often said that humor can make someone fall in love with you, and for this couple, that saying certainly proved to be true. During the moment when Andrew was supposed to say "my lawfully wedded wife," his nerves got the best of him, and instead he said "my waffle-wetted wife." Melissa chuckled at his slip, but then Andrew took it a step further, saying "my cakey wife." At that point, neither the couple nor the minister could hold back their laughter. This led to an outburst that filled the room. To add to the hilarity, Melissa even hinted at eating pancakes with her family, embracing the moment with humor. Andrew admitted to being scared of the wedding all his life, hoping to ease the situation. Still, his comment only added to the laughter, causing Melissa to burst into an even louder and more joyful cackle. This laughter was contagious, spreading to every guest in attendance. The room was filled with applause, though Melissa couldn't stop laughing, seemingly releasing all her nervous energy in the process. It is safe to say that it's always better to start a marriage with laughter than with tears. Wedding photographer takes a splash. This is the amusing tale of a devoted wedding photographer whose day took an unexpected turn. As the wedding ceremony ended, the newlyweds joyfully walked up the aisle hand in hand, full of joy. The photographer, eager to capture this beautiful moment, was fully focused on getting the perfect shot. In his determination, he took a step backward without checking his surroundings. Unaware of the water fountain behind him, he found himself tumbling backward into the fountain. The splash drew attention from the guests, yet surprisingly, the couple remained so engrossed in their own joy that they didn't even notice his predicament. They continued their celebration, wrapped up in their happiness to turn around. Fortunately, a kind bystander rushed to the photographer's aid, ensuring he was okay. Let's hope that the camera, his tool of trade, managed to withstand the unexpected plunge. This event will surely be memorable in the years to come, reminding everyone that even in moments of celebration, surprises can happen. Kid jumps on bride's dress. Weddings are typically filled with a whirlwind of emotions. In one particularly charming incident, a spirited little boy decided to turn the bride's elegant gown into his personal playground. With a burst of excitement, he leaped onto the back of Tanya Malone's wedding dress, treating the stunning train like it was an amusement park ride. Fortunately, Tanya, being the understanding and good-humored bride she was, didn't let this playful interruption get her down. After all, this exuberant little fellow was her nephew. His surprise attack was so energetic that it nearly sent her tumbling, but with grace and a quick adjustment, she managed to maintain her balance and continued her procession down the aisle. As the laughter rippled through the crowd, it was clear that this wasn't just a momentary blip, but a delightful memory in the making. Meanwhile, little Reese likely found himself under vigilant supervision for the rest of the day. Who knows, maybe he'll still be grounded until he turns 18. But for now, his playful antics added an unforgettable twist to Tanya's special day, proving that sometimes the most delightful moments come from the unexpected. Best man's wardrobe malfunction at the altar. Malfunctions at the altar at weddings often bring out tears of joy. But what happens when those tears come from uncontrollable laughter? Instead, that's exactly what occurred when the best man at a wedding suddenly found his pants dropping to his ankles while he was presenting the rings. Nice striped underwear, by the way, but perhaps next time, try not to show it off in front of a priest during a wedding ceremony. The reaction was immediate, and everyone at the wedding erupted into laughter. The priest attempted to carry on with the ceremony, but it was too late. The laughter had taken over. The silver lining of this wardrobe malfunction was that both the bride and groom seemed to shed their stress completely. The 7 bridesmaids, blushing as red as their dresses, were no longer focused on their nerves. The bride, too busy wiping away tears of laughter, could barely repeat the words the priest was saying. One thing was certain. This best man definitely knew how to steal the spotlight, even if it was for reasons he hadn't planned. Next, you are the best man. Make sure everything is tied up well. You never know what could be falling out of place. Weddings are not just about the perfect pictures and well-orchestrated plans. Sometimes things are not as planned. Events will happen that would be embarrassing or awkward, but trust that these moments sometimes make the wedding memorable. It's those delightful oops moments that bring a little spice and joy into the journey of marriage. Experiencing problems on your wedding day can be very frustrating, but it's important to embrace the laughter during these moments. Hope you enjoyed our video, and we would love to hear from you. So let us know what's the most unforgettable or unusual experience you've witnessed at a wedding. Please share your experiences in the comments section below, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel.